What's up guys, MCMMA here, and in today's video I am going to be breaking down 5 currently ranked UFC fighters who I think should not be in the rankings. Alright, first up, I have got number 11 ranked welterweight Gilbert Burns. Gilbert, as many of you know, has been or was a top contender in the welterweight division for a very long time. Fought the likes of like Kamaru Usman, Tyron Woodley, Hamzat Chimaev, Bilal Muhammad, JDM. He's been fighting high level competition for a very long time. But if you look at his resume at this point, like he shouldn't be ranked. His last win over a active UFC fighter came at UFC 283 over Neil Magny. And in case you guys forgot what happened at UFC 283, at that point, Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo were still fighting each other, and Jamal Hill had just won the light heavyweight title. That's how long ago that was. And that was against Neil Magny, too. It's not like it was against like some top 5 or top 10 guy. And in his last 5, his only win is over Jorge Masvidal's corpse. The only reason I would cut him some slack is just because he's been fighting straight killers like Bilal, JDM, Sean Brady, Michael Morales. Those are all really good fighters, but I mean, you can only lose so many fights while staying in the rankings, and I think at this point, Gilbert Burns should not be ranked. All right, next up, I have got number 12 ranked heavyweight Tai Tuivasa. Tai is, as you can see, is on a lengthy losing streak. He's lost 5 in a row. His last win came over Derek Lewis. I don't even remember how long ago that was. I think it was like 2022 or something, but it's been like 3+ years since he won a fight. And on top of that, he hasn't even fought in like over a year. So I don't know what his goal is at this point, but he looks worse and worse in every fight. Like, he looked horrible against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. He looked really bad against Marcin Tybura. And if you guys have seen like any of his clips of like what he's been up to while he hasn't been fighting, this dude has gotten so much fatter, which is insane to think about since he's already one of like the fattest dudes in the division. But I mean, he's easily above 300. He's probably like 320 or 330 right now. So, I mean, I don't even think this layoff is going to help him. I think he's still going to be losing all of his fights whenever he comes back. So, I mean, yeah, his win over Derek Lewis was in February of 2022. So it's been 3.5 years since he won a fight, and he's not even booked for any fights right now. So he definitely should not be in the rankings. I think the only reason that he is just because of how ass the whole division is. But even despite the division being ass, I still think you should be ranking guys who are at least staying active and winning some of their fights, which Tuivasa clearly has not been doing. All right, next up, I've got number 14 middleweight Marvin Vettori. Vettori, another guy like Gilbert Burns, who was around the top of the middleweight division for a little while. That speaks more to how weak the division was during like Izzy's title reign than it does to any skill that Vettori might have. Since the really only attribute that he's got going for him is his iron chin, and he kind of just sucks at everything else. But as you guys can see, he is 1-4 in his last 5 fights. His only win coming against Roman Dolidze, which was, I think that was like at the start of 2023. And you could argue that he even lost that fight. Like, it was really close, not impressive performance at all. And it's against a guy like Roman Dolidze, who's not, as we know, is not a very skilled fighter. And I mean, he's lost his last 3, all pretty decisively. Got absolutely whooped by Jared Cannonier, lost to Dolidze, and then lost to Brendan Allen too. And he will be fighting unranked Bruno Ferreira at UFC 323, and I think that in all likelihood he's going to lose that fight. So after losing that fight, he's probably going to drop out of the rankings, but he's a guy who should not have been ranked for a little while now. All right, next up, one of the most egregious ones, I've got number 10 welterweight Colby Covington. Colby's last win over an active UFC fighter, and this like barely counts as an active fighter, was against RDA in 2018. It was in July of 2018. You know what else was in fucking July of 2018? Season 4 of Fortnite. That's how long it's been since Colby Covington has beat a competent UFC fighter. It's insane that he's still... I mean, this dude was in the top 5 for a while too, which is so crazy to think about. They've been moving him down progressively like the past year or so in the rankings, but he still shouldn't be ranked. Like, there's no reason that he should. He is 2-3 in his last 5 fights, but those 2 wins came against the corpses of Jorge Masvidal and Tyron Woodley. he has lost decisively to every competent fighter that he has faced, especially in his last 2 fights. He got dominated by both Leon Edwards and Joaquin Buckley. I mean, I'm never going to forgive this dude for making Joaquin Buckley look like a future champ, and that's why Buckley was being overrated so much going into the Usman fight, because he beat up on fucking Colby Covington. But Colby, I mean, at this point, like, nobody cares about his gimmick. His gimmick's grown old. Like, nobody listens to what he has to say anymore, because, I mean, people would at least listen to him a few years ago when he was still good. Like, he was still a player in the welterweight division, but at this point, we all know he's washed. The only thing that he has left is to talk shit, and that's not something that he was ever really good at anyways. He would just kind of say crazy things to get people riled up. But Colby absolutely does not deserve to be ranked. He also hasn't fought in, like, about a year at this point, and I have heard 0 rumors of him even looking for a fight. So just drop him out the fucking rankings. Like, it's not that hard. All right, last but definitely not least, probably the most egregious guy who is still in the rankings. I have number 12 ranked lightweight Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is 2-5 in his UFC stint. His most recent win came against Tony Ferguson, which barely even counts. So in reality, he has one real win over a competent UFC fighter, which was his knockout win over Dan Hooker in his UFC debut, which came in 2020. So Michael Chandler has not beat a real opponent since the first Trump administration. And he's still in the rankings. Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, I get he's had entertaining fights in the past, but at this point, he's not even like an entertaining fighter. Like, he's gotten absolutely ragdolled in his last 2 fights by Charles Oliveira and Paddy Pimblett. And he made Paddy Pimblett look like a future champ. And Paddy's going to get, I think Paddy is going to get absolutely smacked by anybody in the top 5. Even a guy like Justin Gaethje, I think, would beat Paddy Pimblett, because Paddy's just so overrated. He hasn't fought a single real he hasn't beat a single real UFC fighter. Like, if you really think about it, what is his best win? Like, the Chandler win doesn't mean shit. The Tony Ferguson win definitely doesn't mean shit. The Bobby Green win looks worse by the day. And, like, before that, he won a robbery over Jared Gordon. That was a fight that he didn't even win. So, like, anyway, aside from Paddy, Michael Chandler is long past his prime and long past having any real entertainment value for the UFC. Yeah, when he was fighting guys like Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, and Dustin Poirier, he was putting on good performances. He was putting on good fights. He was competitive with those guys, but, I mean, that was like 3-4 years ago at this point. He has demonstrated in his past couple fights that he is extremely washed, and I think that there's no reason that he should still be ranked in the lightweight division. All right, those are my 5 guys that I think should not be ranked. If you guys have any other fighters that you think shouldn't be in the rankings, just let me know in the comments. Make sure to leave a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.